Hey guys, I got a brand new wrestling forum over at BrendenPlayz.com that I would love for you guys to sign up to. Come join in the discussion about wrestling, video games, YouTube, movies, sport, TV, and a hell of a lot more. The link to the forum is in the description down below. Let me check the date. Well, it is Tuesday, which means it is time for more Let's Talk Tuesdays. I'm sorry for the corny intro, but hey, we are here with another big edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. We've got a few topics we want to cover. First of all, I want to say, need more questions, you guys. Obviously, the last video of Let's Talk Tuesdays was more just WWE 2K15 stuff, so I understand you guys didn't leave me any questions on that one. But make sure you do leave me questions on this episode. Also, another fantastic way to leave me questions is over at the new forum, BrendenPlayz.com. You can see the forum in the menu bar there. Go click on it, or the link is in the description down below. So that's a great avenue to go ahead and leave me questions on. But anyways, let's get straight into it. So the first question today, now I'm going to butcher this name. I'll just go to the last name, Pash Owers. He wants to know, what do you think that the WWE could do with Dolph Ziggler? Well, what can the WWE do with Dolph Ziggler? The former World Heavyweight Champion Dolph Ziggler. I mean, the guy is now floundering around in the mid-card. He's actually in recent weeks won a couple of matches as well, so it's kind of giving us perhaps the impression that could there be a renewed push on the cards? But then again, he didn't win the Intercontinental Championship Beat the Clock Challenge this week on Monday Night Raw. So also you have to say, well, okay, they're not going to push him in that direction. He's obviously just going to win a few meaningless matches here and there just to kind of keep him some kind of relevant. So they can use him in these situations, I guess. I don't know, but Dolph Ziggler should not be in this situation that he's been. He's much better than this. We saw that he can hold the World Heavyweight Championship and hold his own with it when he was the champion. I mean, he had some good matches with Del Rio. He had a great match with Del Rio, actually. I think it was at Payback. Obviously, his world title reign was just so unlucky. It's a bit similar to Daniel Bryan's. I mean, we waited so long for him to finally cash in his world title reign. And then he got the concussion, and then he had to drop the title, and then it just went all downhill from there. Just pretty much buried into the abyss. And the comparison to Daniel Bryan, you know, he finally got the championship. Now he's injured as well. So it's just these guys that we've been waiting for so long to get the championship belts, unfortunately just haven't had a good run of luck when they've had the belts. But Dolph Ziggler, I don't think he'll ever be WWE World Heavyweight Champion unless they really dramatically push him and he gets himself over. I mean, he is still relatively over despite the fact that everybody and the WWE is trying to keep him down as hard as they can, and he still manages to get a good cheer, good pop every night, and in most crowds. It's not just the UK smarky crowds, it's still every crowd likes Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he's one hell of a performer. He's certainly deserves to be in a better position than, you know, just a job guy. I think certainly should be floundering around the upper mid-card, more so than doing nothing in the lower card to I'm going to job out to everybody status. So right now I think Dolph Ziggler is savable, but I think they've just kind of found him maybe a new gimmick. I mean, I don't know. I mean, his gimmick really is just him saying, I'm a show off, look at me, how good am I? And he's a bit arrogant, so he's got a bit of a heel gimmick, but he's a babyface, so it's a bit strange with what he's going with there. But I think Dolph Ziggler is certainly savable, and I think they're just going to push him. Just give him another chance. I mean, obviously the reason why they kind of held him back in the first place was because he was running his mouth like an idiot, but obviously he's learnt his lesson, and this is the way that WWE likes to, you know, punish people, by pushing them down, holding them down forever. Same thing happened to Triple H with the whole Madison Square Garden incident. You know, he got the blame for all that, and you know, he got held down and buried, but he came back. So if he's good enough, he will come back and he will get his spot. The fact is, if you've got the talent, you'll overcome all the adversity to get yourself in that spot. Look at Daniel Bryan. He's a prime example of that. The WWE tried to bury him 18 seconds. They tried to do everything they can to stop him from being the guy. And the crowd just kept getting behind him. He kept doing his thing, and now he's on top of the world. Well, he's a bit injured, but he's at the top. He's solidified himself as a permanent main eventer. Dolph Ziggler just got to keep doing what he's doing, and hopefully the WWE gives him another chance. So, okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Henry Lich 97, he asks, do you think they should brand split again if they bring Prestige back to SmackDown? Now, I think I've touched on this a little bit, but we'll go into a bit more detail. So, should the brand split occur again? I think yes. I absolutely loved the brand split. I think it was a great moment in WWE. And it may be because the first time I started watching WWE was when the brand split was occurring, and I was a SmackDown man. SmackDown was my show. I only watched SmackDown at the beginning, then I eventually came into Raw, but SmackDown was always my favorite, probably up until I stopped watching in 2000, at the start of 2008, and ever since then, I don't even watch SmackDown anymore. How bad is that? You know, SmackDown used to be my favorite show. Now I can't even be bothered to watch it. It's a waste of my time. That's how bad SmackDown has gotten. I don't even bother to read the spoilers because nothing ever happens on SmackDown. There is no point in me even watching SmackDown. I don't get anything from it, and I can follow every single storyline the WWE has without even watching SmackDown because I watch Raw and they give you the one replay that you needed from that 1 week of SmackDown to justify exactly what happened in that feud on SmackDown. They'll show you the most important clips that you need to see on Raw anyways. SmackDown is utterly pointless at this stage. So do I think they need the brand split back? Yes, I do. But how would I go ahead? How would I go about doing it? The thing is, have they got enough stars to carry a second brand? No. I don't think we are quite there yet. I think in 2, 3, 4 years, we could start thinking about having a serious, legitimate second brand once again. But that is never going to happen unless SmackDown goes live and SmackDown gets treated as a top show and not just the continuation of the mid-card storylines on Raw, and just kind of a bit of filler, really. SmackDown needs its own different look. You know, back when it had the big fist, it had its own look, it had its own unique touch to it. You felt as though you were watching a different show compared to Raw. Nowadays, it's the same show, it's just Raw's younger, ugly brother, really. So really, they really need to revolutionize and do a complete overhaul on SmackDown for it to be taken serious again. Now, for the talent-wise, the best thing to do would be have SmackDown have John Cena exclusively on the show. Get him over there. Yes, he can carry the brand, and then you can have, you know, other guys carry Raw. What better way to make SmackDown relevant again than to have the top guy in the company on the show? Obviously, the WWE probably feels as though they can't really do it at this point in time because the roster is still, it's not that thin anymore, but the guys that they are pushing aren't quite at that main event status yet. They're not quite draws. They're not going to be able to carry a brand just quite yet. But, you know, you think about it, you could have SmackDown, you could have John Cena on it, maybe either Batista or Randy Orton on it. You could have either the Shield or the Wyatt family on it. Then you can maybe have mid-card guys like Ziggler, Henry, Sandow, Kofi Kingston, Cody Rhodes, Big E perhaps, Ryback. The thing is, if they have the second brand, they can really start to push the mid-card guys. The realistic approach to the WWE right now is if they're going to have a second brand, they need to really amp it up a bit and really start to push their mid-card guys and establish them, because they have all these guys. Those guys are just named. None of them are really like pushovers, are they? They're guys that you could see, maybe not being world champions, but still having a major role on a show. But yet half of those guys aren't really doing, the second half of those names are listed, they're not doing anything right now. So if the WWE want to do a second brand, they could quite comfortably do it, and it could be successful. The thing is, they just have to put some effort into it, make the rosters actually even, which I would believe the first thing you need to do is put Cena on SmackDown, and then start to push your mid-card guys, make the mid-card titles relevant again, important again, and then you can straight away, you can have a good undercard, and then you can start to build these guys that are could make the jump to the main event scene, but aren't quite there yet. You could start to build them, make them push up into that main event role, and then you can all of a sudden, you can see you've built all these new talent, you've got all these new main event guys, and you've got two great rosters going head to head to each other. I think that one of the highlights of the WWE was when SmackDown and Raw were at its peak and were really fighting against each other, and it was both really good brands. I think 2006, 2005 were some really good years, in my opinion, for the brand split, because he had some great rosters for both those shows, and you know, I think it could really work. I think it's probably a couple of years away before we can really start to think about it, but obviously right now they have the talent. They just got to use the talent they have properly, and then make the rosters, like I said, even, and really just kind of change the way they're doing things right now. Go back to simple storylines, these personal issues, make the mid-card titles relevant again, and look, you could have a successful second brand, no doubt about it. It's not that hard. Alrighty, so the next question comes from Catered Boss 53. He wants to know, who would you like to see come from TNA to the WWE? So this is a question, obviously, that many people have been asking for years now. Who would people want to see from TNA in the WWE, and could we ever see this guy or this guy in the WWE? I think the one guy that I've always thought to myself, this guy could be something in the WWE, was, to me, Bobby Roode. I'm not a big TNA fan anymore. I used to like the product in 2009. That's when I first discovered it, and I was really enjoying it. Actually, maybe discovered in 2006, I should say, but I started watching it more often in 2009. I really loved the Main Event Mafia. I thought that was awesome. But yeah, I don't really watch TNA anymore. I think the show right now is garbage. I mean, Eric Young is champion. God, he would barely even win the United States Championship in the WWE, in my opinion. But I think right now TNA, they don't really have anybody that I could see ever making the jump to the WWE. Even AJ Styles, the WWE don't even want him. So I don't think the WWE really ever will take the TNA talent seriously. I mean, Samoa Joe, I think he could have been something if he had made the jump. Bobby Roode, I think, could have been something if he made the jump. But these guys are too old now. I mean, they've got their own guys, younger guys, 10 years younger than these guys, coming through the ranks, that they don't need to look to Joe, Roode, Daniels, Kazarian, these guys, Styles. They don't need these guys in their company to be successful. But realistically, I wouldn't mind seeing the Dudley Boys come back. I know these guys were already WWE guys, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Dudley Boys come back for one last run. Kurt Angle come back. I guess Jeff Hardy come back. I would have liked to see Bobby Roode. I don't think that'll ever happen. AJ Styles, I think he could be something, but I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see any TNA guys ever being signed from the WWE, but those are probably the names that I would like to see. I think if MVP and Bobby Lashley are TNA guys, then I like to see them come back as well, because I like both of those guys when they're in the WWE, but those guys are getting a bit old now. So yeah, TNA guys, I don't think we can ever see really any of them. I think TNA is going to fold in the next couple of years anyway, so a lot of those guys are going to be free agents in the next 12 to 18 months anyways. So we will finally see if these guys actually are worth anything, and if the WWE actually does sign them up. And today's final question will come from Hockey Maniac 828. Big shout out to Hockey Maniac. He's been a long time viewer of the BrendenPlayz channel. Really appreciate all his support. He's a legend around here. But he wants to know, what do you think Damien Sandow could do in the WWE at this time? Obviously, Sandow right now he's doing nothing. It's similar to the Dolph Ziggler question. What should we do with Sandow? Sandow's gimmick, in my opinion, will never be main event material, but I think he could actually have a good run to, not in the main event, but he certainly could have had a good Intercontinental Championship or a US title run, in my opinion. And I don't know why they dropped the ball on Sandow. He was the Money in the Bank winner. He probably could have been World Heavyweight Champion, in my opinion, but I mean, look at him now. I think he's won one match from like 50 matches this year. Look it up. It's something ridiculous like that. Sandow's done. I don't know. I mean, obviously they can start to give him some more wins, and his mic skills will get him over. But, you know, he's got a great gimmick. But once he gets in the ring, does anybody really care about what he's done in the ring? I can't really name a match that he's actually been that great in. I don't think he's really put on that many great matches, but his promo skills are fantastic, no doubt about that. And his character's good, but his character's never going to get himself in the main event. His mic skills won't ever get himself in the main event. And Sandow, he's been around for a long time. He's been around for like nearly 10 years in the WWE, and he's still doing nothing. I mean, you have to wonder, is time running out for Damien Sandow? I mean, he's had this big, renewed character, new push, whatever. It's not working, or the WWE, for some reason, feel as though it's not working. I think it was actually starting to do quite well, in my opinion, when he had the Money in the Bank. Speaking of Money in the Bank, the John Cena-Sandow match, that was a great match, but that's John Cena in that one. Obviously, he has a lot of great matches, so I think that was Sandow's best match. I think that was really, really good, and I thought from there, we could really see Sandow do something here. He could be something, and obviously it wasn't, and I think Sandow, he could be a mid-card champion. I think they've just got to start pushing him, man. It's a simple case of giving him some mic time. When he came out and he cut a promo every week, that was good. But now they've given him no chance to cut promos at all. I mean, he had a bit of a thing on the pre-show a couple of weeks ago, and he's been getting some mic time in a couple of weeks, on the last few weeks on Raw, but they've been cutting him off or whatever. I don't know, but I don't know, man. Sandow, he's not one of my favorites by all means. I know he's a lot of some people's favorites, and he's well loved on by the online fans. But I think Sandow, for me, I don't think he's done by any means. But if he doesn't start to do anything in the next 12 months, I don't think we're going to see Sandow ever accomplish anything in the WWE. I think his time's going to run out. He's had plenty of chances, and I think the same with Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler's been around since the freaking Spirit Squad, so he's almost pushing 10 years in the near future. So these guys have had a long time in the WWE. These guys are veterans, man, and they still haven't been able to really accomplish much. So it's a simple case of, is their time running out? Have they had their opportunity? Is it time to, cut your losses and give someone else a chance? I don't know, but that's going to be it for this week's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Comment your questions for future episodes. Make sure you go ahead and visit the forums as well, BrendenPlayz.com. Leave your comments and leave your questions over there as well. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more Let's Talk Tuesdays, and I hope you all have a great day.